Fabian Rivera. Today I will be doing a presentation on the Angkor Wat Temple. This is for the humanities class for Professor Lilian Huerta. So, some basic facts about the Angkor Wat. It is the world's largest religious structure, by area, technically. It was constructed in the 12th century by King, I don't know how to say that, but I'm going to try, Sir Yavarman II, for the purpose of being his resting place upon his death. So essentially, it's kind of like, a little Taj Mahal vibe, whereas, like, the main point of this, like, ginormous religion building isn't really for, like, oh, yeah, we're going to, like, worship or, like, just, like, be here and just, like, pure religious habits, I guess. It's actually for, like, kind of like, I don't want to say a selfish reason, but it's definitely like a selfish intention with the way it was built. It was just supposed to be that king's tomb. It originally was meant for Hindu worship, but it eventually became a Buddhist temple. So the little story behind that is a king, like, jet way into the future. Like, I think it was like 3 centuries into the future. Felt that the Hindu gods failed him, so instead of, like, continuing the worship in the Hindu sense of, like, religion, he built a whole new city that is called Angkor Thom, like, really close to Angkor Wat. And he was like, "All right, we're gonna be Buddhist now." So Angkor Wat eventually transitioned into Buddhism and left behind the Hindu gods that he used to worship. The temple houses hundreds of other smaller but significantly sized temples, which represent different meanings and also served as different cities. So the temple is so huge that there was basically, like, little micro communities in each different little temple because so many people could just, like, be, like, up and about, and it was, like, very spacious. But each temple had different meanings. So, like, the whole temple was supposed to have, like, meanings of, like, the universe. So like, in my opinion, I think that meant that, like, one temple kind of represented, like, like, nature, or, like, maybe one temple represented the ocean. Or it could even go into, like, more specific things, like, emotions and things like that. But it was pretty cool thing to read about. The cultural context of the temple. Angkor Wat held an extremely important place in the ancient society of the, again, I don't know how to say that, but I'm gonna just, like, try to sound out, the Khmer Empire. Although it was initially created to be the tomb for its creator, King Sir Yavarman II, it also held a high meaning to the Hindu and Buddhist worshippers who practice their faith within it. So for a bunch of, like, the religious practitioners who, attended the temple, instead of it being just like, like your old run of the mill church, instead they saw it as like, oh yeah, this place is, like, huge and ginormous for a reason, so it's got to have some kind of importance. So a lot of them actually started kind of building up a legend around the temple, and it became an even more sacred place than it already was. The temple would also serve as a place for worship to Hindu believers and was dedicated to their god Vishnu. However, back to the little story, how, like, the king was like, "Oh no, the Hindu gods failed me." The Angkor Wat, uh, sorry, back to the little Angkor Thom thing. How, like, it influenced the way that, like, Angkor Wat transitioned into Buddhism. Angkor Wat became a place of worship, and it also was, like, a source of, like, pride for the Buddhists. So, like, they were encouraged to pilgrimage there, like, every now and again. And it did become abandoned in around the 15th century due to, like, a lot of, I don't want to say, like, conflicts, like, within the government, but there was basically, like, a lot of, like immigration. There was, like, more opportunity in other places. So in a sense, it kind of just got abandoned in the natural, way of things. We're like, oh, people don't really find a meaning to be there anymore. Cultural context of the temple. Angkor Wat is one of the last remaining monuments which emerged from the era of the Khmer Empire. It is the pinnacle of the architectural ability of the dynasty. It serves as a symbol of pride for Cambodia and showcases the immense ability of the dynasty which created it. The temple reveals the immense craftsmanship and expertise which the people of the Khmer Empire possessed when it came to the art of engineering, painting, architecture, and passion for their religion. It is also considered to be the eighth monumental wonder of the world by some due to its massive size and meaning to the people who see it as a religious and sacred temple. And these are my sources cited, and thank you for watching.